Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wow, it's full. Hello, and welcome to the opening convocation of this academic year. My name is Suzanne East. I'm a faculty member in the education department. I'm also the core curriculum director, and in that latter role, I work with campus pastor Kathy Stoner to facilitate our chapel and convo programming. And it is just a delight to see you all here this morning. So this is a season where most colleges and universities are kicking off their fall academic year. And across the US, there are lots of things that colleges and universities have in common. Fall sports seasons start, ensembles hold auditions, professors post their syllabi and assign their textbooks, residential students try to figure out how to make a dorm room feel like home, and commuter students try to figure out the best places to park and eat and nap on campus. But there are also programs and routines that are unique to some colleges and universities, that are a school's way of highlighting what is distinctive about doing education in this space. Convocation is one of those things for Goshen College. Wednesday at 10 a.m. is sort of a sacred time on campus, a time set aside. There are no classes. There are no meetings, at least there aren't supposed to be. And it's an hour when we all gather here and we're asked to put aside our work and come together as an entire campus community. Faculty, staff, administration, first years, seniors. When you enter this space, you're asked to put away books and phones, settle into your seats, take a breath, and focus on who and what is with you in this space at this time. This is our community. These are the people we learn with. These are the people we debate. These are the folks with whom we eat and study, with whom we celebrate milestones and laugh, and sometimes grieve. As a small campus, one of our assets is the degree to which we can know one another. And part of why we do chapels and convos every week is that this is a tangible way of living out our value of community, of engaging one another across difference in meaningful, purposeful ways. This is a space where we explore our core values together and the ethical frameworks that we all use to live into this world with more kindness, more love, and more grace. Students, you are asked to attend 10 chapels or convos every semester, and there are multiple ways that you can find out what's going on. You'll see these posters hanging around campus, and the website also has the schedule posted. Your Google calendars should also be populated with the Wednesday chapels and convos, and then the campus communicator will often have more information on what's happening on that particular day. Every semester, we have about 18 to 20 events, so you have some choice in how you meet that requirement. This semester, we have 6 chapels in the fall, and those are rooted in Christian worship traditions, but everyone is warmly invited to attend those, even if you don't identify as Christian, and to participate and observe to the degree that you feel comfortable. We also have about 7 events that are labeled as bonus convos, and these are things that fall outside of the Wednesday 10 a.m. time, and they will count toward your chapel convo credit as long as you remember to bring your ID. So let's turn our attention now to the main event of the morning, an opening address from President Rebecca Stoltzfus, or Becky, as she likes to be known among us. She is really that good. Becky has led Goshen College since 2017, and she has proven herself to be a gracious, wise, and values-driven leader. Students, when you pass her on campus, know that she wants to know who you are Introduce yourself. She wants to know how you are experiencing Goshen College and what you are thinking about. I know that your joy and success here is one of the things that keeps her going in a very high-stress job. So Becky, we are eager to hear your reflections on what it means to be rooted in good soil.
Good morning, you're too kind. And welcome to Fall 2022. I really couldn't be happier than to be here with you today. Now, not quite 40 years ago, a young man named Shashi Buluswar came to Goshen College from Kolkata, India, and sat in these very pews. At GC, Shashi studied computer science and business, and he said he was exposed for the first time to the idea that service can and should be a core tenet, not just of education, but of life in general. After graduating from Goshen, Shashi earned an MBA and also a PhD in artificial intelligence. He is a scientist, a business strategist, and an entrepreneur, combating global poverty, fostering peace between India and Pakistan, as well as finding homegrown solutions for local empowerment. Shashi teaches at UC Berkeley and is the CEO of Global Health Labs, bringing to life breakthrough solutions for combating global poverty. Shashi's story demonstrates that when I say, welcome to Goshen College, I am welcoming you to a community of students and faculty, colleagues, and alumni doing outstanding things in the world. And I'm not exaggerating. Last year, a new ranking system of colleges and universities was rolled out to identify schools, regardless of their size, that are using their resources as effectively as possible to help students and faculty achieve their full potential. Goshen College was ranked number 8 in the nation for producing outstandingly achieving alumni for our size and resources, a far higher ranking than any college or university conventionally considered elite in this country. So what makes our community so unusually fruitful? I think it's because we're rooted in good soil. And we are like a prairie. This morning, I want to think with you about Goshen's prairies, literally, and as a metaphor. You might have noticed that our campus here in Goshen is home to more than 10 acres of prairie. That's a lot for a campus. Our Mary Lee Environmental Learning Center is home to an additional 94 acres of prairie. One of the surprising characteristics of prairies are their root systems. This is a photo of a blue stem grass plant, a grass found throughout our prairies, and a banner that hangs in our science building. There is more prairie underground than above ground. The massive, dense root systems of prairies slow the runoff of water after heavy rains, reduce soil erosion, prevent or lessen the severity of flooding, and rebuild the structure of soil when it's damaged. Prairies are resilient. They are strong, and they're designed to last because the ecosystem keeps enriching the soil. So Goshen College is also deeply rooted. We are first and foremost rooted in the way of Jesus. We're connected to the Mennonite Church, a lively part of the 500-year-old movement called Anabaptism that aims to put Jesus' life and teachings at the center of our faith and life. So back in the 1500s, Anabaptists got into a lot of trouble with the church. In contrast to the Roman Catholic Church state that was operating in Western Europe at that time, these small groups of people asserted that neither the state nor parents could make a child Christian through infant baptism. Instead, Anabaptists, including Mennonites today, believe that each person is capable of making a choice of whether or not to follow Jesus. Because of that, we respect your journey and your choice. Whether you come from another faith tradition or any variety of Christianity, whether you're Mennonite or unsure what you believe, if anything, you are welcome here. It's not that beliefs don't matter. They do. But our Prairie is expansive. We want to learn to know you and invite you into honest conversations about matters of faith, spirituality, and the moral questions of today. Because we are also deeply rooted in community, not just as an idea, but as a living practice. The foundation of our community at Goshen College is the inherent goodness and dignity of each one of us. Each one of us bears the image of God, and every one of you, every one of us is deeply beloved and precious. Like our gathered community this morning, our prairies are diverse. Prairies are made up of many different plants with different colors and textures. None of those plants can be a prairie by itself. Prairies are communities. At Goshen College, our diversity is essential to our community and also to our academic excellence. Teaching and learning about diversity and through our diversity connects our academic excellence, real-world experience inside and outside the classroom, and active love for God and neighbor. This entire amazing root system of Goshen College is the source of our faith. Now, when I speak of faith at Goshen College, there's a lot of things I don't mean. I don't mean that you have to believe in a particular doctrine, and I don't mean that you have to believe magical things. Faith is not anti-science, nor is it a list of rules that keep some people in and some people out. Here's what I do mean when I talk about faith. The Apostle Paul wrote that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is a longing for a truer, more beautiful world. And not just the longing, but the active imagination of it and talking about it. And faith in action is not just having the longing, but stretching for it. And that's what we are doing here. We're all stretching for it, which is very much a team sport. And I am confident, down to the marrow of my bones, that there is a powerful force for love in the world that is stretching for all of us in personal and tangible ways, a force that I and many others call God. All of those roots, that massive underground goodness, expresses itself in the world. The hidden roots produce the visible prairie. The colorful blooms and tall grasses, the habitat and shelter, the birds, bats, bees, butterflies, beetles, squirrels, and other small mammals that pollinate plants and are thus responsible for our whole food system. If GC is like a prairie, the visible expression of our prairie goodness is our core values. Our core values are the expression of our growth, the green blade rising. Did you know that the English word grass comes from an ancient Sanskrit word meaning grow? That's what grass does. We are here for passionate learning, dreaming of the new things we want to create or bring about within ourselves and the world. We study, get together in teams, talk for hours, test hypotheses, practice our skills, and are unusually bold in our efforts to make things better. And this shows up in our core value of servant leadership. We take responsibility for seeing the potential in people and processes, and we have the creativity and courage to bring that potential into reality. How did Prairie's come to be on our campus? Through student leadership. 12 years ago, a group of students in Professor Gerald Ross Richer's environmental economies class took on the project of researching the process and consequences and return on investment of converting 9 acres on campus from lawn or pavement to native prairie systems. And GC leaders before me adopted their proposal. So what is the potential that you want to bring about? At Goshen, we imagine and seek peace. This value arises directly from Jesus' life and teachings. Our core value of compassionate peacemaking means that we actively learn and practice ways that create peace for ourselves and for others. We reject violence as a norm, and we recognize how we make choices that promote violence or that promote compassion. Our peace pole near the Union Building is a visible reminder of our commitment. May peace prevail on earth. It is 20 years old and showing its age. And this year it will be replaced by a somewhat larger peace pole in 12 languages. We celebrate peacemaking in our annual Peace Oratorical Contest hosted by the Communication Department, as well as the Peace Plays produced by our theater department. This year's Peace Play will be the first theater stage production this year on Homecoming Weekend in October. Please come. Our fourth core value of global citizenship means that we have empathy and imagination for the whole world. Global education is woven throughout our curriculum, not only in our classrooms, but around the world. We learn to see and understand the connections between people, cultures, economies, and ourselves. Be adventuresome in your time here. This year, our Goshen College community is from 34 nations, bringing the world into our classrooms with rich cultures and perspectives. And to our DACA and undocumented students, we are glad you are here. We will support you and advocate for your rights. You are all citizens of this campus community with full access to security, resources, freedom. You have a voice, and we want you to learn to use it with strength and with compassion for each other. Now, there are 2 more things I want you to know about the prairies on our campus. The first is how they connect to the history of this place. Before Goshen College, before the city of Goshen, before English settlers came to this land, it was oak savanna and prairie, some of the most beautiful, rich, ecologically wonderful land in the region. Known as the Elkhart Prairie, it was one of the traditional homelands of the Potawatomi people. The colonial soldier John Jackson encountered this land for the first time in the early 1800s. He declared it the most beautiful land he had ever seen. During the War of 1812, Jackson and a contingent of US troops marched on the Potawatomi village of Wanyanyoshona, less than 10 miles from our campus, near the present-day town of Benton. The native people had fled the village, but the troops collected any items of value and then set fire to the village. Eventually, the Potawatomi were forced to leave this region in 1838 in what is known as the Trail of Death. That painful history is why we begin this year and every year by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral land of the Potawatomi people, past and present. We honor the land itself and the indigenous people who have lived on and with this Elkhart Prairie and savanna throughout the generations. We commit to learning how to be in closer relationship with the land we inhabit and to relate with respect to the people who were violently displaced from this land. The second thing I want you to know about our prairies is that they are taking care of us. I mentioned earlier how they help manage water and prevent flooding. In addition, we human beings are burning the carbon stored deep within the earth and creating a blanket of carbon emissions that is heating our planet and causing weather and water crises around the world. And all the while, our prairies are quietly and steadily absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and restoring it to the earth. Our prairies, along with our trees, are taking care of us. And we take care of them. Because there are no longer bison or other large mammals to browse them, faculty, staff, and students burn the prairies on campus in the spring. Burning puts even more carbon back into the soil, and, according to Professor Ryan Sensenig, is a lot of fun. And GC faculty and student researchers are actively studying how prairie ecosystems work. Prairies are still surprising researchers with what Professor Jonathan Schramm describes as the dynamic and intricate dance going on every day among plants, their roots, soils, microbes, insects, and animals. Be dazzled and be in relationship to this land. Goshen College, like a prairie, is an ecosystem, and we keep enriching our soil. Our 20,000 alumni around the world care about you, including Shashi Buluswar, who I talked about at the beginning. Shashi worked last year with us to establish the Global Citizenship Award for undergraduate students in their third year of study who represent Goshen College's core values in exceptional ways. And it brings me great pleasure this morning to announce the first 3 winners of the Global Citizenship Award, who are all seniors at Goshen College this year. The first place awardee receives a $10,000 scholarship, and 2 runners-up each receive $5,000. Third-year students were nominated by professors and each wrote an essay describing how they have experienced or embodied the GC core values. A faculty committee reviewed the nominations and made recommendations to the dean. It was a very hard choice, and I want to commend every student who applied. I'm going to introduce the winners to you this morning, who are all here. Please hold your applause until I've announced all 3 recipients. The first of 2 runners-up, who will receive a $5,000 scholarship, is Cadence Lee. Cadence is a music and education double major from Elkhart, Indiana, nominated by Kathy Meyer-Reimer, professor of education. You may recognize Cadence from Parables Worship Ensemble, Voices of the Earth Choir, or from last spring's musical, the Putnam County Spelling Bee. If you've taken a class with her, you may have experienced her generosity and leadership skills in academic settings. Cadence wrote, "My current definition of my faith has been changing ever since I stepped foot on Goshen's campus. I've been able to develop my concept of faith and experience a cohesiveness between my previous faith and the inclusive measures that my old faith was missing. I can be myself." Cadence is back on campus this fall after spending the summer on SST in Ecuador. The second runner-up, also receiving a $5,000 scholarship, is Giovanna Gaiona. Giovanna is a public health major from Elkhart, Indiana, nominated by Brianne Brenneman, assistant professor of public health. Giovanna is known for her empathy, curiosity, and community-mindedness. A significant part of Giovanna's identity has been shaped by becoming a mother at a young age. She's genuinely interested in always learning, whether it be about a certain topic or about the beliefs, values, and perspectives of her classmates. Giovanna traveled this summer to the Texas border in an SST course on refugees and immigration. She wrote, "This subject is one that hits close to home and that I got to experience from my own family. However, this course is helping me define what global citizenship means in terms of all of humanity. And the first ever recipient of the $10,000 Global Citizenship Scholarship is Susanna Yoder, nominated by Jean Lichty, Professor of Social Work. You might recognize Susanna from the basketball court, or in her academic role as a social work major. From Wellman, Iowa, Susanna spent the summer on SST in Senegal. Susanna wrote, "From my time at Goshen, I have learned how to think critically. I've learned to question things that seem simple and obvious. I've always been someone to ask questions, but I haven't always viewed this as a good thing. However, my professors at Goshen encouraged my questions, and I've learned that curiosity leads to rich learning." Susanna is unafraid to ask questions when she doesn't understand. Both her professors and her peers appreciate this because it helps everyone engage more deeply and effectively in learning. I'd like to ask all three of these recipients to stand where they are. Congratulations, Cadence, Giovanna, and Susanna. And to each and every one of you, welcome to this Prairie community. The soil is good. Put down some roots. Grow and flourish. I can't wait to see how your fruitfulness reveals itself in this community and in the world. And now, I welcome to the podium Scott Hostetler, Professor of Music, who is going to lead us in singing the alma mater.
I'll wait till you quiet your voices. You're going to take all that energy you're using speaking, and you're going to put it into singing. All right? Some of you know the alma mater very well. Some of you don't know it at all. And today that's going to change. We're all going to learn it together. So let's silently stand up, get into a great singing posture. Again, quietly. All right. Make sure that you've got a great sight line, either to that screen or to that screen, or you're just going to listen to me and copy. Okay? There's a spot in the... No. I was pointing to me. Me. Oh, you overachievers over there. There's a spot in Indiana. There's a spot in Indiana. That was kind of lame. So imagine sort of the type of singing we want is like in the Liverpool Stadium when they sing "You'll Never Walk Alone," right? Some of you don't know, if you watch Premier League football, which I don't, an entire stadium of people singing "You'll Never Walk Alone" and crying and swaying. That's what we want right now, okay? So, yes, try your best to sing beautifully, but it's more important that you sing with gusto, okay? There's a spot in Indiana. There's a spot in Indiana where the leafy maple grows. Where 'Tis our dear beloved city.
'Tis our dear beloved city.
Where the Elkhart River flows. I see some of you barely moving your mouths, all right? If you can speak, you can sing. If you can speak, you can sing. All right. Shh. 'Tis a spot we love most dearly. 'Tis a spot we'll cherish long.
'Tis a spot we'll cherish long.
After youth and strength have faded.
After youth and strength have faded.
And the world has heard our song. Longer phrases now. There's a spot in Indiana where the leafy maple grows.
There's a spot in Indiana where the leafy maple grows.
'Tis our dear beloved city where the Elkhart River flows.
'Tis our dear beloved city where the Elkhart River flows.
'Tis a spot we love most dearly. 'Tis a spot we'll cherish long. 'Tis
a spot we love most dearly. 'Tis a spot we'll cherish long.
After youth and strength have faded, and the world has heard our song. After
youth and strength have faded, and the world has heard our song.
That's really awesome. That's really great. Now we're going to move on to the part that maybe some of you already know. Goshen College, ever singing. We've been ever singing since the late 1800s until now. And we're having all of you join in this community of singers. Whether or not you call yourself a singer, we want there to be singing on the basketball court. We want there to be singing in the stands at the soccer games. We want there to be singing in the dorms. We want there to be singing, of course, over in the music center today at 4 o'clock. No audition required just for today. Come and try out choir, 4 o'clock. Even if you don't come for the singing, come for the paletas. 4 o'clock today. Shameless plug. My turn. Shh. Goshen College, ever singing.
Goshen College, ever singing.
You can go down the octave, that's okay. Some of you are like, that's fine. Pick whatever octave works for you. To our motto we'll be true. To
our motto we'll be true.
Honor to our master bringing.
Honor to our master bringing.
Alma mater, we love you. I already hear some show-offs singing harmony. All right? So that's a thing that we also have done at Goshen College. We can blame the Mennonites for this, okay? Because the Mennonites were not allowed to have instruments in their churches. So they got really, really fancy with their part singing, okay? This is not a requirement at Goshen College. Just sing the melody really loud, but if you want to sing the parts, sing those with vigor as well. Here we go, the whole alma mater. Everybody, sing every word and join with those generations of Goshen College students in having pride for your school. Here we go. We ready? All right. And you guys will take care of going back and forth. Okay, here we go. Like Liverpool, just blow me away. Here we go.
There's a spot in Indiana where the leafy maple grows. 'Tis our dear beloved city where the Elkhart River flows. 'Tis
4 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock today.
Okay, in just a minute, we will dismiss you by class. We have this tradition at the end of the first convo that we dismiss faculty, staff, and seniors first. Everybody exits out this north door where the very dynamic Jason Samuel will be flapping his arms. And we make an applause tunnel, and we ask that first years and transfers exit last. And we will applaud you as you exit towards Schrock Plaza. It's a small ritual, but it's our way of welcoming you. And then when you graduate, the faculty again form an applause tunnel as you walk out of this space. It's a small way of marking your entrance and your exit. While you leave, we're going to be running a slideshow, and the slideshow includes the tiebreaker photos from Friday night's Discover Downtown event. A lot of the first years and transfers were downtown doing an app scavenger hunt, an app-based scavenger hunt, and we had in take your most creative tiebreaker photo. So those will scroll first, followed by the first year photo ID pictures that you did on the first Monday of Welcome Week, just those of you who gave us permission to share more widely. So it's only about 60 or 70 first year students, but it's a nice representation of who you are as a first year class. If walking through an applause tunnel will be sort of too much stimulation for you, you're welcome to then exit through a different door, but do find your way to Schrock Plaza where there are donuts. Okay, faculty, staff, and seniors, would you head this way to get us started?